So from one of my previous videos, you guys may think that I don't like iOS 11 because the video was titled 7 Things I Hate About iOS 11. Really, that isn't the case. I love iOS 11. It's a major release for Apple. So these are 7 things I love about iOS 11 as requested by you guys in the comments of that video. So the first thing is the new control center. Now I keep going back and forth on this idea, but right now I really love the new control center, especially the animations. So if I turn off Do Not Disturb, you can see that animation with the moon there. If I turn on and off rotation lock, you can see just that sleek animation. Even in volume, if I go here, just watch this icon at the top. As I change the volume, you can see there it changes very subtly. I really like it. Control Center just feels really unified and sleek now, so I really like Control Center in iOS 11. Next up is the flight preview page. Now, no one really talked about this when they were talking about iOS 11, but Apple did change the flight preview page here. You can see now it's more unified. The text is bolder. They now have baggage claim and the duration of the flight. Before, they'd only tell you departure time and arrival time, so you'd have to do that math in your head. But now they tell you the duration of the flight, so that's really nice. So yeah, a nice update to the flight preview page in Notes in iOS 11. Next up is the visual change that Apple made to iOS 11 throughout the entire system, and that is bold text pretty much everywhere. So if I go into music, you can see here at the top it says library. If I go into, if I go into phone, you can see here, if I go into favorites, well, they haven't done that yet because it's a beta. So some parts of the operating system aren't bold yet. Let's see if I can find an app like Notes. You can see here, iCloud, and I even have the script for this video up here. So everything is bold in most applications like Notes and music, and I think weather is a bit more bold now too. The text got a bit bolder. So Apple is making things a bit darker, more filled in, just to improve the look of iOS as a whole. Next up is the keypad design on the lock screen and the phone app. I really like how the keypad looks. If I go into the keypad here, you can see it looks more filled in. In iOS 10, they were kind of just circle outlines, but now the keypad is completely filled in gray. I kind of like that look. And also on the lock screen, so if I lock my device here, you can see that this keypad right here is more shaded in and it looks better. It just looks better with the operating system. Another really cool feature I like with iOS 11 is that Siri can now translate languages, and I finally got it working even though I'm on Canadian English as my language. So I'll show you right now. How do you say hello in Mandarin?
你好.
And then it translates it right there. And I didn't say how do you say hello in Chinese because I know that bugs some of you guys. So Mandarin, Chinese is not a language. Anyway, Siri translation is really cool, and it's going to help out a lot of people when traveling. Next up is the camera application. The camera app now has grid lines in every single mode. So if I'm in photo mode, portrait mode, square mode, or even video mode, the grid lines go throughout the entire camera app. So you can frame your photo no matter what mode you're in. And finally is the App Store redesign. This is probably the biggest change in iOS 11. It got a lot of time on stage at the keynote, and it's completely rethought. You have the Today tab, you have games, apps, updates, and search. The main thing they did is they separated apps from games, which is really going to help exposure of regular apps, because what they said is in the top charts of the App Store, most of the applications are games. So to get more exposure for developers that don't develop games, they made a separate tab just for apps, which is really nice. So the App Store refresh is really nice in iOS 11. It's going to help developers, and it's going to be nicer for the user when using it day to day. So those are the 7 things that I love about iOS 11. Just a couple other things I want to throw in here. The text animations in some applications like music are really cool. So watch this text that says library up here as I tap on songs. You can see here it kind of fades into a button, which is really cool. So I've never seen this in any other device where the title in one app can actually fade into a clickable button. So just watch the library text. You can see there it kind of fades up into the bottom left and becomes a button. So that's really cool. A very small change, but Apple made the text on the calendar icon more bold. I like that. It's easier to see. And finally, if we go into settings, where is it here? Scroll all the way down. The settings for photos and camera are finally separate. As you may know, in iOS 10, it's just one tab called Photos and Camera, but now the settings for photos are here, and the settings for camera is here. So these settings have finally been separated. Thank you, Apple. This is a small change, but definitely one that's appreciated. So guys, those are 7 changes and 3 little ones that I really love about iOS 11. Tell me your favorite in the comments down below. Tell me in the comments also if there's any other videos you want to see me make about iOS 11. My name is Mike. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.